What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Snap on Ego. My name is Brad, otherwise known as Bradford, and I'm joined, as always, by Chris Bootman Boutte. Guess what? We got a new season coming out tomorrow. It's the Thunderbolts season, which is funny because like the movie doesn't come out for a while, right?
Yeah, and technically this will probably be today when people hear this or watch it.
Right.
Today. But yeah, Thunderbolts, they just started filming. Did you see what's her face? Florence Pugh. She just did a little behind the scenes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Filming, but
this isn't coming out till next year, right? 2025. We're only getting one MCU movie this year, and that's Deadpool 3.
Yeah,
which is great, by the way.
I think that's needed. Like MCU, like a lot of people, like you guys need to figure some stuff out. I think they realized it, so they just like chilled out. They're like, let's figure this out. Like I think, and the only series coming out is probably the Agatha series. I think later this year.
If it hasn't been delayed again, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard any recent delays, but yeah, I saw people wondering about the Thunderbolts thing. It's like, oh well, they just had this stuff ready to go, just toss it out there. Yeah, whatever.
I prefer when seasons don't need to line up with the MCU. I actually like that because it means like we're getting cool cards of these characters now as opposed to a year from now. Like that's not fun.
Yeah. I think, like, obviously, just their marketing hope is that people go see the movie, then they could piggyback off of that hype, like when they did the Spider-Verse. I'd be curious. I've worked in marketing most of my life. Like, I'm curious how do they see results, right? Like when the Spider-Verse movie came out, we got the Spider-Verse season, did they see a bump, right? Do they see a bump when they do align those things or whatever? But by the way, let me do a quick shout out real quick. So, do you know who Nando is? Do you know Nando, YouTuber?
I vaguely recognize the name.
Yeah, so I retweet him sometimes. But anyways, Nando, he's a YouTuber. He has two channels. Like his main channel, I found him because I've been getting into like kind of like essays on like movies and stuff like that. He does like purely like superhero stuff, like Marvel and DC, and he'll pitch scripts. Like he'll pitch a script for like a Young Avengers movie, or like like he had a Deadpool 3 pitch a while ago before it was actually announced.
I've probably watched his thing before because I recognize the concept.
Super cool dude. He loves Marvel Snap, and what he's been doing lately is every single week he's been releasing a video on his second channel where he dives into the lore behind every new card that's coming out. He's been doing it for like 2 or 3 seasons. So like if you're like me and just like into it but not super into it, check out his channel. Each week he uploads a new video. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then so after he gives you the lore, at the very end he gives his opinion on if their ability, like if the card has that flavor. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I got you.
Yeah. So It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
All right, Chris. Before we talk about the new season and new cards, which we will dive into that, I first want to get the elephant in the room addressed or out of the way, all that stuff. Yeah, we gotta take your veggies first before you get your dessert, right?
Yeah.
So we got to talk about the fact that there has seemingly with the release of these the series or the season trailer, it's another season of all Series 5 cards. Now let's take a look real quick. Got Snap Fan, got the card list organized here. Here's Meek. Here's Meek way back in January. And there have been 12. You can technically say, if you don't want to count the season pass cards, even though they do go in the Series 5 after the season, if you want to be like, those are season pass, you can buy those, whatever. There have been 10 new cards since Meek that have all been Series 5. Now there's another 6, technically 5, this month, because we got an extra week this month, I guess. We have 5 releases. 5 cards in addition to what's it called?
Well, it's 5 cards, that's 4 weeks, right? 4 new cards, season pass cards.
It's 6 counting the season pass card.
Wait, it's 6? Zemo, Red Hulk, USA Agent, Valentina, and Red Guardian.
And White Widow.
Oh, that's 6. Oh, man,
so we have a 5-week season.
I thought you were an English teacher.
I know. But yeah, so we have a 5-week season, 6 new cards, which is 5 new cards outside the season pass, even though it's going to be 6, that are all going to Series 5. If if you're a free-to-play player and you don't get the season pass, that's 6 new cards season 5 that are going to be 6,000 tokens a piece. This is kind of scary. We talked about this on Can't Stop Snapping, and funnily enough, Chris, we just started adding stuff to. We made our own YouTube channel for that podcast, right? Can't Stop Snapping, me and Teddy, and the episode in which we talked about this last week, or I guess the week before last week, I made a thumbnail of like a news flash thing, and it's like and it has the economy like going down downward and shit, and it said the Snap economy, and it was the Groot emote button for like $800.
Yeah.
It was the Mexican pesos or whatever. But yeah, that one got 2,000 views, like off rip. Like that's the only one that like.
Oh yeah, well, like we talk about the people in the community, the other creators who like rage bait stuff. It works. It works. Does. The doomerism works.
Yeah, I put that the Marvel Snap economy is a bubble waiting to burst. And that is a little bit like on the doomer side, kind of clickbaity, I guess. But really, it's not that far off of how I'm kind of feeling.
So rewind real quick to that Groot bundle, right? Like something that I and some other people were talking about. I tweeted out about this. This felt like some kind of like A/B test, right? Like that Groot emote bundle, like they don't know how much the emotes are worth, right? Or how much we value them at. Because all of this is like value, right? Like, do I find this variant valued at 1,200 gold or 700 gold? You know what I mean? Well, with the emotes, they don't have that yet. So they put it out there. I'm like, listen, you need to vote with your wallet. If you think this is too much, do not buy it as much as you want it. Like that seemed like it was a marketing strategy because they aligned that Groot emote bundle at the same price point as something else, and it came with like the same stuff, except one was like variants and one was like an emote. So Second Dinner was like, let's see if they value these things the same. So hopefully a lot of you did not buy them. But
holy shit!
As you look this up,
this is a nightmare.
Is you and I have been staunch defenders of like the fact, not opinion, that this system is better than the old system. Those of you who are new, the Spotlight Cash system is better than the old system. Previously, you could only, outside of getting using your tokens, you could possibly open a Series 4 or Series 5 card on the collection track. The odds were so far against you, it was nuts. I think I got one Series 5 card out of all of them, and I'm like a whale, so I was opening a lot of them. But now, the way this economy works is that it's the most beneficial to new players or people with smaller collections. But for us, people who are like collection complete, we're using more caches, we're gonna get duplicates and stuff like that. But if you're super low collection level, you're gonna get more cards. But anyways, we've defended this. We have defended that fact. But now, with all of these Series 5 cards, it's a hot mess. It is not good at all. Like, here's what I tweeted. Last month, like I've spent a lot less on the game, but last month I bought every single card with tokens, cash money, right? I just made it rain on them because I love the panda art variants. So I opened for all of those. So I spent like 20,000 tokens, and then what is that? 24,000 tokens, and then I used however many caches. I actually had a good month where most of them were on the first cache. But anyways, I spent all of that extra of my resources, and then this month they're like, hey, have fun doing it again, jackass. And I'm like, damn. Even as somebody giving you guys money, this feels bad, you know? So I can only imagine for the players who aren't spending a lot, you know?
The norm is certainly being like 30 cards away from season card or whatever, collection complete, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the norm for like a lot of people that are like done with Series 3. It's like, yeah, I got like half of the cards in Series 4 and Series 5. And you should prioritize the ones in Series 4 first for the most part because they're good and like they're better deals. However, a worry I have with this is on top of the fact that they've stated that they only plan on doing 1 or 2 more series drops this year. Chris, they could do 10 cards per drop, right? Which is about the average, right? Like they do like 5 from 4 to 3, and then 5 from 5 to 4, about when they do drops.
Yeah, like how many they do?
Right.
Yeah, like what was the last one? I think it was 4 or 5.
Something like that. And they're still way too far behind. They'll never catch up. Because we're gaining every couple months, we're gaining that many cards in Series 5 alone. Like Series 5 is huge.
Yeah, like here's what's crazy. Go back to your other tab. Like,
This one?
okay, so we're talking about, this is 3 months in a row where it's all Series 5, right? Now, here's what's crazy. Like, I just pulled it up on my screen over here. If you go back before that, it's all, like, before Planet Hulk, we have Selene, Series 5, Blob, Series 5, Annihilus, Series 5, Gladiator, Series 5. Then we go to the, before that, right, we have Werewolf by Night, Series 5, Nico Series 5, Black Knight Series 5, Elias Series 5. Like, look at this. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy time.
Yeah, the only cards that were Series 4 was, so Mobius was Series 4.
Oh, wait.
Man-Thing was Series 4.
I need to filter so Series 4 is on here too. Okay. I had to filter to only Series 5. No wonder they all look Series 5. Okay, Havoc was Series 4, so that was good.
Right.
Martyr was Series 4. Okay, so around then, we had a little bit more of a mix.
Yeah, so, like the September season was good. It was like there was like 2 Series 4 cards, I think.
Was Ravonna?
I think she was Series 4.
Yeah,
Series
Mobius
4
and Ravonna Series 4.
Yeah, that's a fantastic. Like that's half the cards that season. You know.
Yeah,
that's how it should be.
Series 4.
Lady Strike was Series 4. Sam was Series. Oh no, Sam was supposed to be Series 5. He was supposed to be Series 4. Then got released Series 5. Then got dropped Series 4.
Yeah.
Sam was released Series 5.
Yeah, like
it's just I don't know.
Yeah, with this bloat, they would need to up the the amount of series drops that they're
just look
doing.
At this. There are 37 cards in Series 5, Chris. 37. Yeah. How many are there in Series 4? Because if there are more than 5 than 4, that's a problem.
I remember
8, 16, 24. There are 24 in Series 4. Chris, that is a motherfucking problem.
Yeah. No,
there should not be more cards in Series 5. There shouldn't be. There should be less. It should go, like, it should be a bell curve. Series 3 should be the most, right? And you go up, Series 3, and then back down for 4 and 5. That's how it should be. Yeah. This is insane.
Like, and here's my thing too. Like I said this in my tweet, like this, I don't think it originally was like a hoarding resources problem, like kinda sorta. Now we really do have a hoarding resources problem. Like I try to be honest with my audience and everything like that, like, and give you my honest opinion on it. Like last week, Binks shared a Pixie deck that I thought looked interesting, and I retweeted it. I'm like, oh, cool, a Pixie deck. I think Pixie's play rate was like criminally, like it dropped way too much, right? Like when new cards came out, and I was like, she's a fun deck building card. And then somebody said, so is she worth 6,000 tokens? I'm like, absolutely not.
No. Like, she's a bad card for the most part. She's just fun.
Yeah, she's just fun, right? And my philosophy has always been, is the card good? Is it fun? If it's both of those things, that's ideal. If not, pick which one you value more. But now it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I can't encourage people. Like, we're not getting enough tokens for me to honestly tell somebody, sure, if you want to splurge on a 6,000 token card. It's like, no, wait until you see what's busted and just get it in the rotation. But now people probably have so many cards in their freaking shop, in the little rotation thing. But yeah, like
just imagine if someone's like, I want to play Thanos, and it's like, cool. You need a Jeff that's Series 5. You need a Cole that's Series 5. You need a Hope that's a season pass, but moving to Series 5 after today. You have a Series 4, it's 3,000 tokens. Series 5 in Mockingbird. Series 5 in Blob. You have a Series 5 in Goliath. Oh, and you need Thanos himself, Series 5. So, sorry, buddy. You're not going to be able to play the top deck. And then same thing with Destroy. Series 5 Nico. Series 5 X23. Series 4 no, like it's not as bad, but like you need a decent chunk of cards to bring it up to the right power level, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and like, yeah. I guess, but yeah, it's just like, because I'm like, okay, well, all you really need is Thanos, and you can get some of these, but so many of the new cards are slotting into Thanos,
They
which
always
is
do.
nuts, which is nuts too, right? Like, look at the top Thanos deck, right? How many Series
Mhm.
5 cards are in that just alone? You have Call.
So
Um,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
yeah, Jeff is still Series 5, huh?
Yep. Doesn't feel
Sweet
like he should be, huh?
Jesus.
Feels like it should be a Series 3 card.
It's legit been a year, huh?
We
Like, it
would,
was like last March.
Chris, if that series drop schedule that we had where it was like every like season there was a series drop, I wouldn't be having these complaints
Yeah.
because things would move appropriately. Jeff would be in series 3 by now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's awful. And I'm going to sit here and say, look, when it comes to us as creators being able to have like a closer step towards actually having a dialogue with second dinner and stuff like that, we don't know shit either. Trust me, we've asked. And like I'd love to be like, there's something coming. I don't fucking know what's happening.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I have no
There's
clue.
posts that the creators will make, try to ask the team. There's posts that like the public makes in the Ask the Team section on the Discord. And funnily enough, every time there's a mention of like, there's a lot of Series 5 cards. You think we're gonna get more Series 4 card releases? Crickets. They won't talk about it. And
Yeah, when it comes to balance and features, they will.
So I just want them to say, at the minimum, we're aware of it. We view it as a problem. We're having internal discussions on how to fix it.
Yeah.
That would be something. It wouldn't be great. Let me say that. It wouldn't be the best thing ever. It'd be like, it feels like you're kind of giving us a non-answer, but at least it lets us know of like, okay, they know there's a thing. They know there's an issue. I just can't stand the silence on it. I can't stand it. It fucking freaks me out.
My whole thing is I'll defend game developers if I get to just, argue in good faith as much as possible, but I get kind of perturbed when I start to look a little dumb, right? Like I've always said, like, listen, as long as you can get cards, okay, let them charge whatever they want for variants, okay? If you can't get cosmetics, I don't care. Shut your mouth. You're crying, okay? You're just whining about something stupid. But like when it comes to accessing cards in the game, that's where I'm like, okay, well now I feel like a little bit dumb and it's hard for me to defend that. Like I try to look in the most charitable way possible and I can't figure it out for this. Like for this with the amount, because as you pointed out, the amount of Series 5 compared to Series 4, it used to be the opposite. And then the Series 5 started creeping up. And now it passed. So
I mean, that's what happens when you add 16 straight cards to Series 5. Well, 12 right now. It's going to be 16. And then as far as the data mines are concerned, looking at May, it's another month of all Series 5.
I don't like it.
I can't stand it. And it's I'm not one to doom and gloom, be like, oh, this is how the game dies. But like okay, Chris, the best part about the game for the average person that I speak to, whether it's in my chat, channel, like through like YouTube or like people I see on Twitter and the Snap community on Twitter and stuff like that, people's favorite part about the game is growing your collection. It's getting new cards. It feels good. Yeah. It's great. But like once you finish Series 3, it comes to a screeching halt at the rate in which you get them. Yeah. And with them just continually bloating up Series 5, if something were to kill the game, it's that.
Yeah, it's definitely this weird kind of honeymoon phase, right? Like I remember that excitement, right? When you just started, you start playing and you're just constantly getting new cards. And then after Series 3, it comes to this like grinding halt, just like, and it's like, you're just not, like we said, the Spotlight system is going to favor people who just finished Series 3 over us, but it's still like just like the way it slows down is just like tremendous.
Well, the rate in which you get keys is so long too. Like they need to, I think they need to make it like it's what, every 10 levels right now, 10 full levels that you get a key. No, not that. It's like 32.
Isn't it like 200 opens or something like that? I think.
Yeah, something like that. It's fucking insane. It's incredibly long, right? It should be way shorter. So they need to reduce the frequency, or they increase the frequency in which you get keys. They need to make tokens matter again. They need to I think they need to rework the prices of stuff. Series 5 shouldn't be 6,000 anymore at the rate we get tokens. If you're going to keep it at 100 per pop in the collection, like Chris, every time I go all the way through my collection to another key, I get maybe 200 or 300 tokens. That's asinine.
Yeah,
right?
It's like nothing compared to, and then we have the weekend missions. I mentioned this too, like
it's just 200.
Yeah,
that doesn't do anything.
When they first released the weekend missions, I remember
selling
the hell out of it.
It was 1,000.
The hell out of it. I was like, hey, you guys, you get like 1,000. It was like 1,000 token rebate, right? So
it was great.
And now, like I get it if that was a little bit much, but like do like 500 tokens. Like
I don't even think it's much. I don't, because it's so overly costed. It's insane. You're telling me, you're telling me at the current rate, 200 per week. Okay, that's how many per month? On average, is 800 a month.
Yeah.
Okay? If you got 800 a month, it would still take you 9 months to get a card.
Well, if we were doing 500 a week, right, and you did so you're earning 2,000. If you bought every single card, you get 2,000 a month, and then it should be if I buy. But
that's with the caveat. See, like you said, you bought the card. Yeah, you already bought it.
Single card. If I buy 4 cards in a month, I should be getting at least 50+% off my next card. And with all of them being released Series 5, we're not even close. We're not even close.
It's awful. It's
so the last thing, unless you have something else to add, and as far as like your thought on like increasing like the token amount or like the key amount, it feels like that would like kind of start just inflating the economy, right? Like
I would say decrease the cost of things.
Yeah, decrease the cost or give us a massive series drop. I can't remember if it was you or someone else said this, but like, if you're going to have this many Series 5 cards, like, fucking blow everybody's mind and, like, downgrade, like, 10. They have 37. What was it? Like, 37?
37 in Series 5 right now.
Yeah, drop 10 of those. There are so many fucking cards in Series 5 that have no business.
Honestly, they should. This is what they should do. Here's my hot take, and I don't give a fuck what Second Dinner says. Fuck you. You make enough money. Just do this. Every single card that's not a big bad, drop it. Right now. Seriously.
You're crazy.
Series 5 should only be big bads. Tell me why. Yeah. Tell me why they should be Series 5.
No.
Because even at 3,000 per card, if they're all Series 4, if you want to keep it at 3,000, that's still months of saving up tokens to get a fucking card. A single card.
Yeah. No.
And then you have these Token Tuesdays, it's like, you get half a card now. Not even a third of a card.
There should honestly be a reward for being like a really dedicated player, right? Like,
give me a fucking like the daily gold thing, but like because I'm as every day your collection complete, here's 500 tokens. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Here's some math. Okay, let's say you had 100 tokens as a daily login reward, right? How many days would it take to get a card with so many at Series 5? You would need 6,000 tokens.
It would take a full month.
No, you would need 60 days of logging in, right? 100 times 60.
To get a Series 4 card,
Yeah.
A full month. 2 months to get a Series 5 card.
Yeah, so even if you gave me 100 tokens per day, it would still take me 2 months.
Which, that's not even the average of what you get 100 tokens a day, because you're not guaranteed out of a collection reserve to get 100 tokens. You're going to get a title, an avatar, right? Like, I barely get 100 tokens in my caches anymore. Like, it's almost always a gold ticket, avatar, or a title.
Yeah, I just got a freaking Pixel Moon Knight out of one of my things. Like an avatar.
Better yet,
card, an avatar.
Remove the 50 credit thing in your thing and change it to 50 tokens.
Yeah.
That way, every like 3 or 4 things, it's 50 tokens. That's a start. But I mean, I don't want any of that still. I still want them to get rid of Series 5. It's big bads only. Even big bads don't even make sense anymore. They don't.
Yeah. I guess what bums me out too, and we haven't had a big bad in like a year either, right?
Last one was Haiba.
So, yeah. But I guess like what bums me out is like I understand capitalism and they got to make money and that's why I defend them and stuff like, but like it's gotten to a point where I'm like, it's hard for me to say that at least you're giving us this, like you're charging over here, but at least you're giving us this. It's just becoming really hard.
Because here's the thing. On one hand, it's making it incredibly hard for players that don't want to spend money or want to spend money sparingly, right? To be collection complete or at least even get a lot of the key cards they need. And on the other hand, every bundle that releases is cash, $50 at the minimum. And then the gold ones that release are horrible.
Yeah.
So it's not, you can't even say like, well, you know, they're technically charging you for the experience to get new cards, but at least the bundles in which you, if you want to spend money, are a great value and help you along the way if you want to be a little bit of a dolphin. No, because you're getting fucked in both ways.
Yeah.
Both poor, like you can't have both be shit. You can't.
Yeah.
The reason League is so good, the reason Smite's so good, Rainbow Six Siege, like all of these hero shooters or MOBAs in which you have to purchase the new people, you have in-game currency that you earn just by playing the game if you want to grind to get your new thing, or you get them at a super reasonable amount.
Yeah, that's a great.
And then
great point.
You can't, and then they fuck you on like you know, like cosmetics and stuff. But that's okay because it's cosmetics, and the experience of grinding to get all the champs in League or all the operators in Siege it's an easy experience. It's not that hard to get there. You just play the game.
Yeah, that goes back to reward people for playing a bunch, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, I think that would solve a lot of issues if they said, listen, you could play as much as, like, if you play a ton, it's reasonable that you could earn just about everything, right? Like, right now, like, I know there's a lot of complaints, I don't even want to dive into it, but about Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, my son and I love playing it, but anyways, they just released their first season, and even though there's complaints, like, theoretically, like, you could earn just about everything you need, right? You don't have to spend like much of anything. So like I wish they would do that, because right now you could play a ton, but we're still talking like a year to get like a few cards, you know? So I don't know. It's
ridiculous. I know it's a mobile game first, but like I don't know. I don't know. Like I wish they would just acknowledge that they're like something in between. You're not fully a mobile game. You're not fully a PC game. Give us something. And I've had so many complaints about the PC thing. I think the PC port, because that's what it is awful. I think it sucks. I hated it when it first came out. Because Chris, tell me, they spent months on this, hyping it up. What is it? All they did was they made the battlefield the same, added empty space on the sides, and they just moved your snap.
They gave us an untap section. That's what they gave us. Yeah,
exactly. Amazing. Incredible. There's not even an option to make you, like, there's not an option to, like, to zoom in and spread out the battlefield that far, like in the settings or something like that. Okay. Secondly, the only other thing, so there's three things they actually changed. Okay. The three things are, they added the empty space to the sides, but made the actual thing the same, right? Then they changed the collection very slightly, just to be widescreen. But for the most part, it works the exact same. And then they changed the main menu a little bit on where you click to be widescreen. But but when you click on everything else, you click on the store, Conquest.
Yeah,
it's the exact same mobile screen with even blurred sides. That's just repeating the same thing. It takes what you see in the middle and blurs the sides to be like, you get this.
They could do a little more.
It should be an actual PC client. It's a shit port, and on top of that, it runs awfully. Like, Chris, I've played it on better systems than my own. I know what the problems are. Like, for example, if I go to collection You go watch Nina. Go watch like Dexter and stuff like that. Go watch people that are streamers with like really good setups. Watch them click on the collection and watch it stutter. Because all of those little things to say, this is upgradable, this is upgradable, upgradable, like in all the copies of the cards, when that loads, even if you have like a fucking like $4,000 machine, it stutters for a second. That's not good.
Yeah. They got some work. They got some work.
It's so bad. I can't stand it.
But speaking of new stuff, our next topic is they did announce something kind of cool, which is also kind of a bummer. Oh, you're not even at the right spot?
I'm just playing it. God damn.
Oh, well, wait, are we going to go through the cards or are you going to go to the feature? The new thing?
Are we doing the cards or the feature first?
The feature. Go to the feature.
Where the fuck is that on this? I don't know where it is on this.
I didn't realize this was your strategy.
I was just going to play this in the background when we talked about the new cards and shit. Fuck.
I was going to say hover over it. You can see the little, look, where's the little thing? You get the little bar for those of you who are new to YouTube.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh my God. So scroll forward towards the end.
I got to go to the end? That feels out of order. It's after Dan Hip? Jesus Christ.
Click on it.
All right.
I'll pause it. Oh, God. Brad, I need to start directing this. Okay, so they just announced too that there's a new league feature coming. So very cool, but and it's rolling out. The test is rolling out at the end of April, but it's in Europe.
Yeah, only Europe. That's weird.
It's in Europe.
Why?
Now the feature is going to be global, but the test is in Europe. I don't get it. So the way it works, from what I understand, I don't know how is it going to work. So they said
you join the league. Here, let's see what he says. Hold on.
You have volume? Nope, I don't hear anything.
You don't hear it? Oh, what the fuck ever. He doesn't say anything about it. He doesn't say anything. He just says it's launching in April. Just let you know. That's what he says.
Says you join a league with your friends. So that makes it sound like I can manually join. It's almost like a fantasy league setup where you get people to join a league and then you guys compete, right? So what's in here? I didn't get a good look at it. No perks active. So what that
you get credits, boosters, a spotlight key maybe if you're the best, and then like variants.
Okay, so
looks like ass.
That's something, right? That's something. But yeah, so I'm guessing like if I posted like, hey, join the MST's League, like in my Discord or whatever, we get first 30 people to join, then we have a little league.
I don't know how that's going to work, because if that's the case where I can set it up and just invite all my friends to it to run a league, who's to say I can't boost and help people just get keys for getting first place?
Ooh, what do you mean?
If it's a league that I can run with all friends, right? Theoretically, I could get you and a bunch of other creators and be like, okay, which creator is like in need of like not being series complete, needs keys? Okay, everyone lose to that person in these private matches that don't mean anything.
Yeah,
in the league,
theoretically,
and get them free shit.
I get what you're saying, but who the fuck? You're going to convince 30 people to do that? I'm not going to waste my fucking time.
But that's not the point, Chris. I'm giving an air of doubt that's how that's going to work, because if there's prize support in these leagues, I don't think for a second it's going to be fully privatized.
What do you mean?
There's no way you can host these leagues, let anyone join, and like you created a league and get prizes out of it. There's no way they let that happen.
He said with your friends. That's what he says in this video. If you can get your sound to work. So like if I joined a random league, those people aren't my friends. I don't know those people. It's not feeding through our doodad, through our Riverside. Can you hear it?
No, he says, yeah, I can. He says your closest frenemies. The fuck?
Yeah, but that sounds like...
Is that just for the theme of this fucking thing? This is my least favorite sketch they've done, by the way. I hate the accents he's doing. They suck. And like he drops the accent over and over. Like I appreciate him having fun with it, and I think it's a little funny. But God,
you're in a mood today, aren't you, Brad?
I'm so pissed.
But here's what I would wonder. Okay, let's say, but could you cheat the league? Let's say if it was friends, do I have to max it at 30? What if I just had 5 friends and then we all just kept getting rewards?
Well,
you know
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm giving a little bit of doubt of like there has to be some kind of safety nets for their sake, because they're like, if they are against people hoarding, I think they're going to be against people like gaming the system in this way as well. Remember Steven that said he was a little bit bummed out because people game the system of the original big like drop and change to from tokens and shit, and he has a list.
I wonder how long they run too, because if it's like a 6-week league, then like, you know, what are you gonna do? Or even if it's a month, you're still kind of just, if I get 1 extra key per month, that's not gonna do much. But if it's like every week, every few days, it depends on how long that league is, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if you compete or if it's like for like snap points, right? Like, do I go to the ladder and do it? And like, is it however you farm it? So now somebody I did see on Twitter say, just use a VPN. I don't know if that'll work. So like, because they're testing it with the Europe people. So maybe, I don't know. I'm sure somebody will experiment with that.
I don't care enough to fucking. That's like telling me to go like play on a test server on I just download Siege on PC and play on a test server if you want to play the game like early access. Like I'm not doing all that shit.
You can get free shit though. What if you want to get free shit?
There is no free shit to get. It's a separate account. Anything you unlock in the test server is in the test server forever. You don't get it in the real game.
What? No, like I would think they like it just like it opens up on your phone, right?
Well, no, yeah. I mean, for this, I'm talking about Siege, but for this example, sure. I don't fucking know. I don't care enough. I don't.
All right, we'll see.
I don't.
New cards time. Oh wait, did you see my cool Scotty Young phone case?
That is cool. You gonna get the new baby surfer in the shop right now?
I saw it, but I like my Max Grec, and there's no Scotty Young album on the horizon. So, and I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but when the Max Grec Thor came out, I was like, you know what? If I knew this Thor was gonna be in the album, I'd get it.
I saw
and
that.
then I didn't get it, and it's the last one I need. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think, after thinking about it more, even when it comes to my shop again, I don't think I like the emote enough to buy that Thor. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, it's just the chest is way too big. All right, Baron Zemo, what's that card do?
All right, I'll go back. So he's on reveal. Recruit the lowest cost card from your opponent's deck to your side location. So we have confirmation that it actually pulls from the like we thought that's how it would work based on the way it's worded. That recruit just means in this case it's a flavor thing. It just pulls from deck to your side. That is for sure how it works. So Mill is a deck now because you can go turn 1 Yondu, turn 2 Cable, turn 3 Zemo, turn 4 Absorbman, and their deck's empty at that point.
It's not empty. It's pretty empty.
No, it's empty.
Yeah.
It's empty.
What?
It's empty. Count their draws too each turn.
Okay, so
that's 8. That's 8 cards.
Yondu, Cable's 2 costs
Mm-hmm.
now. Yeah, 2, 3. Then you got Zemo.
Yep.
And then wait, which one were you saying?
Either Absman or fucking what's his name? 2-0. Grandmaster.
Oh, Grandmaster.
Yeah.
So that's 4 cards.
Yep. And then they draw 4 cards during those turns too. You start with 4 in your hand. That means 8's left in the deck. That's 8 total by turn 4. So they have no draws on 5 and 6.
So the argument I've heard is that you're thinning out their deck, right? So
sure.
like you're taking the risk that, hey, okay, I can screw you up.
Okay, let me ask you this then. In this case, because it's turn 4, it's 1 turn after the latest you can get. What's it called? The one that destroys your deck and you draw 3. Lamentus.
Oh, yeah.
So would you say Lamentus thins your deck? Is that a deck thinner?
See, it's like 50-50, right? Not even 50-50, but sometimes.
Yeah. Look, okay, so then let's take it by that logic. Then Mill is like a 50-50 deck where it's like you either take away their best cards or destroy their best cards, or you just give them the chance to draw them. Like
All
you
right,
know.
let's discuss this though. Top deck Thanos. What's this going to do to Thanos decks? A little bit.
I
You're not
mean,
emptying your deck.
taking stones can be a deal. I mean, your
Yeah.
Mockingbird can't be as low. I don't mind this against Thanos. Look, we have the idea of those three cards plus Azor Man plus Grandmaster. You can also do Gladiator and stuff. I think this can be a real deck. Will it be a top deck? Probably not, but maybe it could be a fringe 2 point tier 2 deck.
I'll say this: we all know that there's different player types in Marvel Snap. This is definitely going to appeal to a certain type of player. Like
Mill's fun.
Like the shitheads, right? The ones who love clog and toxic decks and stuff, who just love fucking with you. They're going to be drawn to this. They're going to be like, I haven't bought a season pass in months, but I'm getting this shit. You know, just so they can mess with people. Yeah, no, I'll have some fun with it. Because I'm not going to lie, about 30% of me is just the shit player that just loves fucking with people. You know?
I mean, it also gives us finally a way to test out Yondu's change to see if it's actually good or not. Because we couldn't really give it the test it deserves, because this was a future-proof change for Yondu to hit the lowest cost card for Baron Zemo. This curve of Yondu into Cable into Baron does feel like it could be something, because sniping a low-cost card that's just considered bad, right? Even though that's not always the case, you can hit high-impact low-cost cards like Destroy. If you're going against a Destroy deck, you can hit Deadpool, you can hit X-23, you can hit Wolverine. Those are pretty impactful cards for their deck with Yondu. And then Cable can steal something, and then when you play Baron, you might get the Venom. You might get you also might get Deathlock or whatever, but
here's my concern. Here's the thing. I want this deck, this archetype, to be good so bad, right? Like right before DC Dual Force went out the window, somebody shared like a mill type deck, and I had a lot of fun playing it with it and just screwing with the opponent. But this seems like one of those decks that sounds good, but then when I play it, and you might be the type of player like me, dear viewer or listener, but everything goes wrong, right? I'm just gonna pull their worst cards. They're gonna still have all their combos.
Well, let's think about it this way. Maybe it's a Conquest deck.
Did you just see that clip? Yondu just hit freaking Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, because they had double Guardian, double Yondu on a Wong.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
but this could be a Conquest deck. I think some decks are okay. This was the only funny. This is the only funny part of the whole thing, by the way, where he's like, "You're gonna like this one, Red," and he's like, "Yeah, yes, sir." then it's like Red Hulk. I was like, that. It's so dumb. It's funny. It got me. All right, let's talk about Red Hulk.
Red Hulk 6'11". Did they buff him? Yeah,
by 1. Yeah, I hate it. I hate the buff. But I'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah. When your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy plus 4 power, if in hand or in play. Why didn't it just say anywhere? If anywhere.
Because it would count the deck if it said anywhere, and that's what old Hulk did. That was in Haiven. That was too good.
Okay. If in hand or in play. Okay, got it. So not in the deck. Was that always like that? Was there an old data mine where it was?
It was always hand or play for Red Hulk.
Okay, got it.
So this card begs the question. Also, cool interaction here. I didn't really think of too much of being able to just ramp into Hulk, and there's a chance that maybe your opponent doesn't have anything to ramp into, and they still play like a 2 and a 1. And that's the best they can do, and they end up floating. Or you can do wave on 5 or 6, or on 5, I guess, like 4 or 5. That gives you a better chance to make them float. To grow the Hulk. But I've seen a lot of buzz of people being like, "Does this just replace Blob in every deck that runs Blob?" I'm like, why would you not run them together?
Yeah. No, my issue with this card, with Red Hulk, is the same thing I bitched about in my previous video. Just so many cards just benefiting Point Slam, and I guess this is like a sort of counter to like the High Evo type stuff. But even the High Evo Infinite deck, it's not even now that we have War Machine, right? Now it's like you want to run Infinite with War Machine. I think it's just kind of silly not to have that, backup plan. But yeah, I don't like this is just a big card. It's a 6/11, which is up there, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, like I think it's gonna be good, but I don't like it being good. I don't know how much I'll play this card. We'll see. Like, is it gonna go in Thanos?
Why not?
Yeah. Like, is it gonna replace like Magneto? What would it replace?
Probably Magneto, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
okay, would you rather have a card that's a 6/12 with disruption or a card that's likely going to finish bigger? Because at the same, like, both of them give a good amount to blob. It's just this gives one less. I will say real quick, I don't like the buff to him from the OTA, or like that little hidden OTA where he was a 10 before and now he's an 11, simply because I don't see the point. I know 1 point of power can be a really big deal, but with that 1 point of power, we're losing just a nice round number of 10, 14, 18, 22 when he grows to 11, 15, 19, 23. It's just kind of gross.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Math that much.
Like, it's not hard. It's just like, it's just not appealing, I suppose. But yeah, this is a death knell to High Evo. So if you hate High Evo, you can get this. Just throw it in every deck.
Yeah, and She-Hulk. I think it's going to be more against like She-Hulk type decks than
High Evo.
Yeah,
because they run She-Hulk.
Like I like playing silly Moon Girl She-Hulk decks, and now this is gonna screw me. Like, right, because you even if you have two She-Hulks, you're gonna be competing with this monster. So
also, not only that, Chris. If we look at like just the top decks in general, let's go to ranked. Every single deck floats more often than you think. Destroy is a great example. You get extra energy from X23. Sometimes it doesn't line up to be able to play perfectly all, like max out the energy you got, and you leave one floating. Thanos, another example. You might Psylocke trying to Psylocke into something, and it doesn't work out, so you have to play something underneath the energy you got. That happens as well. Plus, with the stones in general, you might have a few stones to play, and then a Mockingbird that's reduced by X amount, but then that leaves with one energy left over, and you don't have any extra stones to play.
Yeah.
Discard, same thing, especially with Corvus Glaive, an extra energy producer. Don't always make use of it.
Yeah.
More decks float than you think.
No, I think just, it's... I don't want to use the word hard, but, like, to curve out, right? Like, there's a lot of times when just randomly you're one energy underneath or two energy underneath, I've been playing that Toxic Surfer deck a bit, and there's just a lot of weird hand. Like, look, that only has 1 2-drop. That deck only has 1 2-drop.
Right.
It can get into some weird situations where you're floating power or floating energy. Like, I think,
you immediately float on 1 with that deck, right? So if they have Red Hulk in their opening hand, he's immediately a 6/15. You're probably floating on 2 because you don't typically want to run out Hazmat on 2. Sometimes it's good if you see your opponent is like, let's say your opponent goes Squirrel Girl on 1. Then I might go, okay, I'm going to tempo out this Hazmat because they have priority now. They're going to play another card. This is going to be a 2/2 that's actually really a 2/5 or a 2/6 even. So sometimes Hazmat's good on 2, but more often than not, you don't do anything on turn 1 and 2. You just kind of go, pass.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I think it's going to be a phenomenal card. So, yeah, I'm annoyed. Too many point slam cards. What's next?
So next is U.S. Agent. This is probably the one that's going to be the
is
most...
it U.S. Agent or was it Red Guardian?
It's U.S. Agent. It's U.S.
You
Agent.
Sure?
I'm sure. So I'll just put this back to regular. Oh, no, I'll put it. Okay, so U.S. Agent.
You were correct.
He's a 2/3 ongoing. 4, 5, and 6 cost cards here have -3 power. So it is the inverse of Man-Thing. I'm excited for this card because I like the idea of playing it in a deck with Man-Thing to see how it goes. Like a cool play with this kind of deck, which I'll go here real quick. I did play this today. We went 7-1 today with this. It's a Selene list with your goblins and stuff like that. Man-Thing's great because like you have some cool lines where you can go turn 1 like Ham, turn 2 Ravona. If you have Hobgoblin in hand, you can go turn 3 Goblin Selene, hit your Hobgoblin. Your Man-Thing is great against the Green Goblin, for example. In this scenario, though, with Hobgoblin, also with not only with Hobgoblin, but with also sending over with Annihilus, sending over your Sentry's Void, this hits those now. It hits those for -3. So there will be times like this, which is a weird thing to show, that here's a card that doesn't hit, here's a card that doesn't hit, here's a card that hits, and you're down 9-0. Like, this feels bad, right? I think this is how
much cost is that ninja?
It's a 1.
Oh,
the ninjas are 1s.
Yeah, I was
so like, in these, like, there will be times with this where you're like, yeah, this kind of sucks. But like, if you were able to go, for example, U.S. Agent, Luke Cage into Man Thing, that's kind of cool. Kind of spreads out like your affliction. My only thing is, I think for U.S. Agent to be good, sometimes it'll steal you a game, like Cole Obsidian, right? Stuff like that. Like a 5 that's just good, a 4 that's just good. But like when you're going into really big things, like your opponent's Red Hulk, for example, or their High Evo Hulk, or Blob, or whatever, I think the -3, unless you're able to stand toe-to-toe against that big power output and go as tall, it's not going to do as much. I think that's why you want to be a bit proactive and be like, okay, I want this thing to hit my Hobgoblin I give them, or my Void that I get them. Same reason Man Thing hits the Hood that I give them, the Goblin that I give them. Man Thing I think is a better card overall because it's easier to just be like, okay, they played a 1 and 2 drop in this lane, Man Thing that, and I'll come back to it later. Where this is a bit harder to kind of predict where stuff's going to go.
So here's what I'm thinking. I don't even know if it'll work. So some people were excited for it being a 2 cost because it fit in Cerebro 2, and in Cerebro 2 you don't have to worry about any of your stuff getting hit.
But it's a 2/3.
Yeah.
So that's being Cerebro 3,
right? So earlier I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I wonder if this card would be good in a bounce deck, right? Think about it. If you get things like Angela, Collector, Bishop, whatever, these small cards that get big, you, again, don't have to worry as much about hitting your own thing. Like, in some bounce decks, the thing that gets, like, a lot of power on one of the lanes is Darkhawk, which would get hit, but I don't know if that's still the play. Like, I want to experiment with it, but like you were saying, with so much Point Slam out there, like here's the thing. I like Cannonball a lot, but a lot of people are like, Cannonball is just kind of a worse Luke Cage. And I'm like, I get that, but like, I like the fun.
That's a weird. That's a weird.
Cage. I mean, Shang-Chi. Sorry.
No, I think that's a disingenuous way to put it. I think they're different cards. I think Shang-Chi has its moments, but when there's cards like her that are some of the best cards in the game, and she's the highest cost card in that lane or highest power card, then you want a Cannonball instead of a Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I think it's great, but in the world of like Point Slam cards, it's like, in situations like this on a certain lane, I don't know. Like, I think Shang-Chi is played more for a reason, you know what I mean? What I'm getting at is US Agent, I don't know if it's doing enough to be a top tier card. Like, I'm gonna get it. I think it'll be fun. I just don't know if it's enough because, like you said, like with Red Hulk, I think Red Hulk this season, every season there's a standout card that's probably going to be the most played card. I think Red Hulk's going to be it. Taking 3 power. Look at the screen right now.
Yeah.
You have a freaking US Agent next to a 24 power Red Hulk. Like,
it's actually 27 power. He's taking away 3.
Like, what am I going to do with that?
What's funny is, like, this US Agent is essentially making your 27 power Red Hulk give Afflict -6, if you look at it this way. So in this sense, because you have a big card to compete with their big cards, like on occasion like Baxter Building, which will happen, I think this is good. This is good enough for a 2 cost to say, because it equals itself out with the Red Hulk. The 3 power US Agent is providing is the same as it's afflicting. So it's like the Red Hulk never left. But you're still -6 to the board, which does give the edge.
But this Red Hulk, so if it was at 27, that's plus 16 power, right? So there was 4 turns where the person saved energy. I don't think this situation is going to happen too often.
Correct. Well, I mean, look at the board. That's a high Evo deck, so maybe that's
no.
That's the example.
Here's what's interesting. No,
also, actually, this is a Patriot high Evo deck.
No,
what the fuck's going on?
They specifically, because we're going to get to the Red Guardian one, they specifically built a deck just to show off these abilities.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. But
What a weird looking list. Haiva
but
Patriots,
yeah, like
interesting.
we'll see how it works. I'm excited for US Agent. It's a card I'm definitely gonna get. You know what's funny? I'm gonna say this right now, even though we're gonna rate these cards after. If I skip a card this season, it might actually be Red Hulk.
It'd be Red Hulk, really?
Purely because I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna have fun with it.
That's fair. Yeah,
You know?
I think it's one of the better cards of the month.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I definitely think so too. But if I skip, because after our conversation to start this episode, I'm like, I need to start speaking with some of my dollars. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like all the Series 5 stuff, so I might skip more cards than usual. Like, here's just to revisit that. My issue is when I do spend a lot of money and I feel like I'm being mistreated. That's what I don't like. You know, like if you're not spending anything and you're complaining, I'm like, I can understand if you don't want to listen to those people. But when people are spending and they're having issues, it's like,
Right.
So anyway, that's a little quick thing.
So next is White Widow. She's a 2/2 on reveal. Add a Widow's Kiss to your opponent's side of this location. And the Widow's Kiss is a 0/0 that says -4 to this location unless it's filled. So like inverse lizard, right? Where the minus happens already and filling it on your side is what makes it go away from the negative.
So is a clip playing?
Yeah, I just have it on half speed.
So look at this. Boom. I assumed that this was a Black Widow style card. You shot it into their hand.
Reading the card explains the card, Chris.
Yeah, I guess.
It says add it to their side of the location.
Where does it say add it to their side? Oh,
add a Widow's Kiss to your opponent's side of the location, and that's what it said on the.
I was just looking at the kiss. That's all. Okay.
But yeah, anyways, I think this is a very good card. I think it's crazy that this is a card that's like allowed to be a 2/2 because the whole reason they made Black Widow a 2/1 or from a 2/1 to a 3/3. Oh, they don't listen to our fucking bullshit. Is they were afraid of like bouncing it with like Beast and stuff, right? So
yeah.
So like I'm gonna bounce the shit out of this card. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bounce it. I'm gonna absorb man it. I'm gonna grandmaster it. I'm gonna give them so many fucking Widow's Kisses.
Are you gonna fill their lanes with Widow Kisses?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm just gonna fucking like, oh dude, this is gonna be such a fun card. And like they show like they show them playing this. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of that. You're gonna get a lot of that of like, oh, go fuck yourself. But like this is awesome. Where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna fill it, and then on the last turn, bye bye. Get rid of one of these Raptors. Now it's empty. -4 to your location.
Oh yeah, that could be good in a bounce deck too. Bouncing Electra, just taking out their low cost, whatever 1 power card. But here's what I'm thinking. Going back to our boy Cannonball, that would be
same
a good
thing,
combo,
right? Or
right?
Polaris,
Oh, Polaris. Oh, man, that would be good.
Stegron as well.
Deck. Yeah, Polaris, Stegron, things that just move stuff. Magneto, just clear out their lanes and stuff like that.
Right. Like, so, yeah, it's going to be a good card.
Here's my problem, though. Going that route, I don't know about other people, but that's too much math for me. Too much. I'm like, I'm going to be looking at it like, okay, I'm going to bring this card over here, and then that power will move here. Then I'll have -4 here, plus whatever that's a lot of math. I'm gonna have to math so many things.
You got to play more card games, my friend. That's the best part about. To me, that's my favorite part about card games is like those moments where you have to stop, slow down, and like, okay, I need to math this shit out. And when you math it out correctly and you win, it's so satisfying.
I watch people do it, like when I'm watching streams and stuff, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I could do that. A lot of it's just on me, right? Like I look at the board, I'm like, I'm going to put down a lot of power. I don't think they could put as much as me. That's literally as far as my mind goes, right? Or, hey, I'm going to take away a lot of power.
So you could be like, oh, and you hit infinite, so that's impressive. I want to tell you, one of my friends, literally two or 3 weeks ago, I was having a conversation with him, and he's like, dude, I fucking hate Goliath, man. It's so fucking bullshit. It's like, it's like they get the 50-50 and they win it. And I'm sitting there going like, yeah, I guess if it's between two lanes, 50-50. He's like, no, with like priority. I'm like, what do you mean?
No.
And
no.
and he's like, they got lucky and got priority. I'm like, they have to be winning to get priority. He's like, shut the fuck up right now. He's like, are you fucking with me?
Yeah.
Like, no,
That's
like the priority is based on who's winning the game so far. He's like, right. And he's like, I've been playing this game for over a year.
Are you serious?
He's been playing since launch with me.
Oh my God.
And he's in infinite plenty of times. He's hit infinite. And he's just like, I never knew that's how priority worked. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like,
if you're watching this,
he's like, that explains so much about Elias.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you are one of these people, let us know in the comments. I wonder how many people that is a thing for.
Oh my goodness.
So for those of you who don't know, a good way to understand priority
I'm going back to a larger board state. Okay, so here, right here.
Whoever's winning the game, if the game were to end right now, whoever's winning has priority.
So in this board state right here, we see on the left it's 10-6, middle is tied 2-2, and on the right it's 8-9. So because there's no one winning 2 out of 3, you have to go to the next thing, which is difference. You're winning up by 1 on your side of the board. Your opponent's up by 4 on their side of the board in total. So that means your opponent, as you can see up here on the right, it's a little bit zoomed in, the glow around their name, they have priority. So if they were to play Eliath, they got your ass, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was so funny. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that you've hit infinite multiple times is nothing short of impressive, my friend. I hope you become the most monstrous player now.
Yeah.
With this newfound
information. It's gonna skyrocket.
He's
love
like,
that.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because he just thought every time he lost to a live, he's like, of course, they got lucky.
They got me again.
All right, next we have my favorite card of the month. It's Red Guardian. 3/3 on reveal, afflict the lowest power enemy card here with -2 power and remove its text. It used to be a 3/4, I think, that just said remove the text of the lowest power card here. They changed it to a 3/3 with the -2 affliction. I love that change. It's so good. This is a staple in control decks now. And I think it's probably going to be a staple in Surfer decks as well. Because
why do you think it's a staple? I think it's good. Don't get me wrong, but explain this to me.
One of the top cards in the entire game is Dracula, and has been for a while.
Yeah, but
with APOC.
Okay, yeah. And remove its text.
Murders Dracula.
Okay. Well,
enjoy that -2 power.
Do this. Go to Untapped. Go to cards and play rate. I'm curious, just of the most popular cards, how many would this affect, right? Like in the video, they show some cool stuff. I'm glad that this is finally something that can keep the Tribunal deck in check, right? Without managed priority, though. But yeah.
It could hit Jeff, technically. I mean, it's only 3 power. You could just say it can't move. Now it's a 1 power 2-drop. Zabu can hit Zabu. That's very often going to be the lowest power thing. You can actually hit Nebula in a lot of these situations as well. If you play, say you see her on 1, you play a card on her like Jeff on her on 2, keep her at 1, turn 3, drop Red Guardian. Now she's a -1, doesn't grow.
I like that. Yeah, she's at 17%. Hot damn. Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, Mobius? Mobius might be good.
Oh yeah, Mobius is a great hit. Professor X, you have to snipe it. You have to do it at the same time, but that's a thing.
I think it's fucked up that in the video they show it taking away Professor X's ability. Like they literally have a clip of that. I'm like, come on, how many times is that?
Ravona. There's plenty of stuff. Iron Man's a big one.
Do you think it's going to revert power that they gained or no?
No, I think
it will.
I think it, because the power's already happened. It's an added effect. So, like if you hit Sunspot, for example, which would be another great hit.
After that, but
correct. So, like if they floated a couple times, then like they've already grew it.
Yeah. Because we were looking at like Carnage and like freaking Venom up there, and I'm like, I won't do shit to them.
Wolverine and X-23.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
I think
Dracula again. Dracula's at 8%, dude. Collector is at 8%. Deadpool.
Okay, this might be a great card because think about
Morbius.
Think about playing this against like a null, right?
Yeah, like that's a situation where they have to ramp it out, or if it's like they're setting up for like a Zola on the null, and it's the only card in the lane, for example, or even Venom. You could do that with Venom, technically speaking, but then maybe the power's enough for not that.
Well, if I know where they're going to play null, if I know where they're going to play null and they have priority, and I drop it down, right? Their null shows up, and then I go boop. It's the highest power thing, and boop.
Well, it's lowest power. It takes away the lowest power, not the highest power.
Lowest power?
Yeah, which is why I'm picking out things like X-23, Deadpool,
makes sense.
Zabu, Dracula.
It'll be a fun surprise card. I think it'll be good.
I think it's a staple in control decks, and I think Surfer actually wants this card, not because it's just a 3 cost, but because Surfer doesn't really have very many options when it comes to tech cards at 3. You have Rogue and Negasonic, I think, are your really 2 options when it comes to that in Surfer. And I think this is better than both of those.
Killmonger?
Yeah, Killmonger, I guess. Yeah, sure. And Patriot's a great example as well.
Yeah.
Steel and Patriot. We don't see Patriot too often much anymore, but when you're playing Control and you see Patriot, you're just like, oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Now, look, here's that clip. Hitting freaking Professor X. Get that shit out of here.
I think that's kind of fine because that makes me think that, in this board state, they have a Nebula down. It's the only card there. They're like, okay, well, I might as well just throw it down. If they play nothing, I at least stop the Nebula from growing, and I can know I have a fixed amount of thing I have to hit. They happen to play that.
Location. That's a turn 6 Professor X, brother.
Oh, yeah, it is. This is the same game where they played U.S. Agent into the Co-Obsidian earlier. I see you, second dinner.
It'll do some fun stuff.
They still lose that lane. Hold on, you still lost the game, brother.
Yeah, they're like, hey, look what I can do.
I fucking got you, bro. You lost.
I bet they Miss Marvel emoted too afterwards.
Yeah, great. This is a big one. Iron Man against Tribunal and stuff. Also, Soulstone. Soulstone's a great option.
Oh, look at that board. Look at that.
Yeah, you're talking. Okay, yes, the board in which they play all their stones at once. But how often does your Thanos opponent say, "I'm going to put Soulstone in my other shit 1-cost 1/1s in the same lane and fill it"? Usually, it's like Soulstone and then like support, like a bigger card. Yeah. Right. So this would just hit the Soulstone and then just give it a negative 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. That's another great target. Like, there's a lot of good targets. This is the Legion of card interaction. Is how I view it.
In what way?
It comes down to what happens. Like it's like the catch-all card. Like Legion's a great. Like look at this. Let's say you have priority. If you have Legion, it's cool. I can hit Danger Room on 6, right? And then catch them off guard, and maybe they, lose to like their stuff blowing up and I don't get it. Or I Legion into Savage Land and fill them on their side, and that can help me. Like Legion is a catch-all for locations. Red Guardian, I think, is going to be the equivalent of Legion to what he is to locations, but for individual cards. It's just going to be that catch-all of like, hey, these cards are super powerful because they're balanced that way. Iron Man's a 5/0 because it's a very powerful effect. Cool. Red Guardian, you're coming to clutch. Now, Iron Man in particular, you could say the same thing about like, Enchantress, stuff like that, or Rogue even. But those cards have problems in which Enchantress is a higher cost, and if you don't have Zabu, then it's whatever. She hits everything on that location. So if you have ongoing stuff there too that you care about, it can make things awkward. And then Rogue, if they have multiple ongoings, you might steal something you don't want, right?
Yeah.
Like, this feels like just a great targeted type of effect that is gonna steal games. He feels like a cube stealer.
I think a decent surprise card.
I love him.
Right. What's next?
I think it's Valentina. So she's the last one. She's a 2/3 on reveal. Add a random 6-cost card to your hand. Give it -2 cost and -3 power. One of my favorites of the month, probably my second favorite behind Red Guardian. Play her in Loki. Yeah. Turn 1 Quinjet, turn 2 her, turn 3 you have a 6-drop, buddy.
Yeah, no, I like what they mentioned in here because I hadn't even thought about it, but playing her with Luke Cage too, right?
Yep.
You play her, you bump your thing right back up to its full power. Like that's pretty dope. So yeah,
like that. Yeah, so like okay, here's 2 examples that I love. Okay, let's say you're playing this in Loki. Okay. So turn 2, you play Valentina, and let's say you're not playing this shit deck that they have put together for the sake of the video. You're playing an actual Loki deck, okay? I played Quinjet on 1, and I'm like, cool. or let's say you don't even play Quinjet because it's going to be a 4 cost, just like Loki. I have a choice. I can play a 4/9 Magneto, which is pretty good, on 4. Also, they have Quinjet right there. Fuck off. I guess they just drew it. Or I can just hold and say, I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play Loki. So in this case, I think I might play the Magneto. In the next case that they show, I love that they show these back to back. I have Loki in hand. Let's see what I do. All right, let's see what I get. Okay, cool. Oh, APOC, can't really use that. I'll just hold it. That's fodder for Loki now.
Yeah.
She's great at that flexibility option. I think that's just fantastic.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I think she's gonna be great. I love card generators and stuff like that.
Oh, yep, I love that. Just a 3/2 Doom that gives +5 both lanes. Sign me up.
Yeah. And
also,
what if
you can run Shadow King and you can Shadow King your Doom. And
Shadow King too. So yeah, Shadow King and Luke Cage. Shadow King I think is in a decent place right now too. A lot of people are playing that toxic Surfer deck. I don't know if it'll still be in the meta by the time that Valentina comes out. But also think about even just her and then Grandmastering her too, right?
Right.
Like you can get a couple of those things. You know, you get 2. If you had Quinjet down, you Grandmaster her. You can get 2 3 costs, 6 drops.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, they show the Shadow King resetting Doom. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she's going to be a fantastic card. This month looks sick. The rest is just, here's the locations.
They interview. Oh yeah, this
Castle Zemo is first card you play your switches sides, and then after turn 5, give all cards your -2 power.
You have no fucking idea how far away from the ladder I'm going to be when these are the locations. I'm going to be so far in Conquest Land that nobody's going to be able to find me. Like, I hate these locations. I get it.
I can't wait to play Hood on this thing.
Oh, wait, which one is this?
Just give them my Hood.
The first card played here? Yeah.
Here, take it. No, I don't want it.
It might be fun. Like, I might peek my head in. I might peek my head in, see how it's going, but I just
This one is just like, this one seems to me of like, I'm just going to play on this on turn 6. This is like basically a lab, right? Or I play Goblins on this, right?
You know what location had the comeback of the century? Krakoa.
Krakoa is fantastic now.
Love that location now.
I love playing Gladiator.
Yeah, it went from being so hated to getting removed that it's just like, it's one of my favorites now. Just absolute one of my favorites. I've been playing like the War Machine like Black Knight deck and just dropping like Call Obsidian or something like that. Just
feels good.
Not called because you need a 1-drop. But anyways, I like doing it. All right, real quick to wrap this up, how do you rank these cards? What's your number one?
So for me personally, like what I'm excited for, it's Red Guardian, Valentina, White Widow, Red Hulk, and then U.S. Agent.
So you're going by your preference,
right? As far as I think of what's
the best,
as far as power level, it's probably going to be Red Hulk because it's generic and strong. Like that it's hard to like beat that. Red Guardian, so we got the Red Boys 1 and 2. Then I would probably say White Widow, Valentina, U.S. Agent.
Interesting. So here's what I sent Glazer. I said Red Hulk, and in parentheses I said even though I'm upset about it. Like I said, I might even pass this card. And like mine's actually different. You might have swayed me a little during our conversation, but second I did White Widow, and I did Valentina, U.S. Agent. Oh, Baron Zemo too. I put Red Guardian at the bottom.
Oh yeah, where do I put Baron Zemo in that? I guess probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, you sold me a little bit. You've sold me a little bit on Red Guardian. I think Red Guardian's going to be good. It's just I think there's a lot of mid cards that we're going to see. Like when it comes to the meta, I think a lot of them are going to be very mid. This is going to be a month where I'm going to be like, people are asking me what to get.
Okay,
like, see how it shakes out.
I think this is going to be one of the more meta impacting months.
You think?
Yep, because I think there are 3 cards that are
more
very
than this
good.
month that we just had. Think about it. We had Hope Summers.
Okay, but yeah, Hope Summers is just like a card that goes in every deck. Sure, you could say the same about Red Hulk. It's just it might be the big card choice.
We had who else did we have? Wait, did Mockingbird come out this season?
Yep.
All right, Mockingbird is in a crap ton of decks.
Yep. That's it.
I thought
War
Red
Machine was
Hulk-
overhyped. War Machine was overhyped. It's okay.
Really? I thought War Machine would be being played more than it is.
Because it's telegraphed.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was kind of shocked that one of the top Infinity Conquest decks is Lockdown. I'm like, a War Machine came out? But I don't know. We'll see who's right. We'll do remember last season, about on our second episode of the month, we looked back to see how good these cards were doing.
Right. Okay, well, that's your homework for the next one. We got to look back on the next episode in the middle of this season. We got to look at the previous one or whenever we talked about the cards at the beginning of last season.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh,
we'll see
but next month is a month.
Yeah.
You skip a lot of cards, I think.
But I just want to remind everybody, yell at second dinner to reduce cards to Series 4.
Please do.
Yeah. All right. That was a great episode.
Yes, sir.
I'm proud of us.
I am proud of us. Drop a sub, drop a like. Let us know what your favorite cards are looking at this season, what you're most excited about, what you think is going to be an easy skip for you, and let us know on your thoughts on the overall state of the Snap economy. And maybe Chris will do a dedicated video on that topic, and we'll see how that goes.
We'll see. Maybe.
All right. Love you. Appreciate you guys are the best. We'll see you in about 2 weeks. Bye-bye, everybody.
Peace.